Guarding it from the start, Wiggins again. Here's Curry for the record. It's good!
That was the shot that made NBA history. But look here. Although Draymond has his hands up and is excited that Steph just broke the record, I think if he had a chance to redo that play once more, he wouldn't have passed the ball to Wiggins.
I mean, I think you have the
Wiggins never passes out of that play. Never.
It would have been nice if Draymond got that assist, but like the old saying goes, oh well. Today, guys, I'm going to go over the harsh truth on why exactly the Golden State Warriors are going to win the championship this year. First off, I want to address the losses the Warriors had so far this season. The big takeaway I had from every loss, excluding that Raptors game, was despite the Warriors playing horribly and having an off night, they still had multiple chances to win each game. I mean, in that first loss against the Grizzlies, the Warriors had 22 turnovers but still had chances and almost still won that game in overtime. Then against the Hornets, although the Dubs shot just 23% from three-point range that game, the game still went down to the wire. Against the Suns, it was more or less the same thing. 22 turnovers and an off night for Steph, who went 4 for 21 from the field, and again, the ball game still came down to the final minutes. And finally, against San Antonio and the 76ers, it was the same story. Open shots weren't going in, but the opportunity to win each game was still there late in the ball game. Every loss isn't equal, and what's got me excited about these Warriors losses is the fact that the Warriors still played Warriors basketball. I mean, the turnovers could be reduced, but the types of shots they were getting are clean and are the types of shots the coaching staff wants them to take, but unfortunately, it's a make-or-miss league, and sometimes, even when you're the best shooter in the history of the NBA, the ball just doesn't want to go in.
Curry to water, and now Curry just in that first half combining for 30 points, and now Curry. First points for Mikal Bridges. Curry.
Yeah, but anyway, the point is, despite shooting nights like these, the Warriors were right there in the fourth quarter. Moving on here, another reason why the Warriors are going to win the championship is because the only two weaknesses the Warriors have are going to be covered up soon. First off, Klay Thompson is going to be back, so teams won't be able to load up on Steph anymore. That must be a scary thought for defensive coaches who have to game plan for the Dubs. Some people say that Klay won't be the same player anymore because of his injuries, but after a scrimmage recently, JTA had this to say about Klay. Klay is one of those dudes. I was like, man, this dude just came off an injury over a year ago, and he's competing. That goes to say he looks like he hasn't lost a step. Explosive. Can shoot the ball. I'm really excited to see him out there as a fan and a teammate. Dang, guys. I can't believe this dude will be back with the Warriors within a few short weeks. I mean, in addition to the greatest shooter in the history of basketball, you're gonna have to deal with this.
5 for 5, including 3 threes. Oh, that's a deep one. He shot it for the
and he's trying to deny Klay the ball, barely in his hands.
Klay went to the three-point line and dropped in another.
Didn't choose to take it.
Oh, Klay's feeling it now.
Just dribbles into a three and barely. Cycling around, Klay Thompson.
Thompson finds an opening, three-pointers up, it's good. Klay Thompson. Thompson, one fake, one dribble, one shot, got it!
Oh my goodness, guys. Are y'all ready for this? Klay Thompson is a lights-out shooter, and if they double Steph, or if they put their best on-ball defender onto Steph to try and lock him down, the ball is just going to find its way into Klay's hands, and this guy is capable of going off for 50 or 60 on any given night. Next off, the second weakness the Warriors have is the lack of a tall center who can defend well against other bigs like DeAndre Ayton, and who can get easy buckets from just rolling to the rim in pick-and-roll situations. Well,
inside, beautiful on the run, Rudy Wiseman.
They can be really disruptive, and that allows them to get out of
Cash.
with all the IQ training he's gotten over the offseason with Dejan Milojevic, plus the muscle gains he's gotten in the gym, I'm sure Wiseman will be more than capable of giving guys like Ayton a tough time around the rim. And while he might not necessarily shut them down, Wiseman should reduce their efficiency. And then, on the other end of the court, I have a feeling Wiseman is going to be the recipient of a lot of easy buckets.
Pick and roll defense with them. That is a big lob that a big kid just caught. It's a good decision to just catch it and come down with it. Now Wiseman soaring.
came from the Pelicans as their second leading scorer.
Chris Middleton now with 17 points. He's 3 of 4 from three-point land. Wiseman well. Inside Q. Wiseman running the.
He's not looking. Draymond sees him. Give it to that kid. He was going to pull back. Flip to Wiseman.
Yeah, guys, the Warriors are already the best team in the league, and they're gonna get these two dudes back. Isn't that unfair? I mean, the Phoenix Suns probably think they're the best team in the league, but they've been at 100% strength pretty much the whole season, while the Warriors were still missing their second best player in Klay and their X factor in Wiseman. Just imagine, guys. Imagine what the Suns would look like without Booker and Ayton. I mean, that's pretty much what the Warriors are so far this season, a team without their second best player and their 7-foot center. Anyway, moving on here. Another reason the Dubs are going to be unstoppable once the playoffs arrive is because of Jonathan Kuminga.
By 22 in the fourth. Oh, the rookie was in their favor, 9 of their first 12 at home. Oh! As they head east now. Oh!
With the rookie Cam Thomas on. Oh! At this point, there is so much uncertainty with Kyrie.
Houston. Kuminga's got it 3 times. Games are on the road.
This kid can get to the rim at will, and although he's still a bit raw, the great thing is that there's about 50 games left for Kuminga to improve his decision-making and improve his open three-point shooting percentage. If he could just do that, then along with his elite athleticism and everything he brings on defense and in transition, the Warriors are going to be that much more dangerous and that much more deep. I mean, first off, you'll have to deal with a four-headed dragon in Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Jordan Poole, and Andrew Wiggins. How in the world is any team supposed to stop that? In every angle I look at it, that lineup is going to generate open looks after open looks after open looks, splash, splash, and hey, even more splash. Andrew Wiggins is going to be smiling every night.
I tell you, the Wiggins smile, we don't get to see it that often. We never saw it in Minnesota.
Then coming off the bench, you'll have to deal with two athletic young freaks of nature in Wiseman and Kuminga. Then you'll have to deal with all the three-point shooting of the two veterans they brought on board this season.
They work it. And the style of play over the past couple of years. Oh, he won. In that scenario, Porter for 3.
Warriors down 3. Here is Bielitsa, long range.
Wide open 3, and so there's Bielitsa. That's an unguarded 3. Boom.
Wide open.
Both of these dudes are shooting 40% from distance, by the way. And it's not over yet either. I mean, you still have to deal with Gary Payton II, aka the Young Glove.
When you take it out of bounds, full court. Is it because, oh, nice steal, there's Payton. And Gary Payton.
We're into December. They started 1 and 3.
GP2 steal. GP2 sword.
The saying around the Bay Area with Payton is dribble at your own risk. The crazy thing about this is that it's not over yet. I mean,
All of our hearts in the NBA family to see him back doing his thing.
after everything I've stated, you still have to deal with Juan Toscano-Anderson, the Giant Slayer. Let's rewatch that dunk once more.
All of our hearts in the NBA family to see him back doing his thing.
Sheesh, guys. The Warriors are just too deep and just too good. I haven't even gotten to Looney, Lee, Iguodala, or Moody yet either. In fact, I got so busy with these highlight reels that I forgot to even mention the guy who's in the lead to win the 2022 Defensive Player of the Year. Green was recently asked why he thinks he's a better defender than Rudy Gobert, Ben Simmons, and Bam Adebayo. And this is what Draymond replied. You didn't name not one person who can control the game for the defensive side of the floor. I think what Gobert does on the defensive side of the ball is incredible. I think the way he protects the rim is incredible. Defense is more than just protecting the rim. Y'all don't judge the defense the same way you judge offense. There is no offensive situation where you don't want Steph Curry on the floor. There is no offensive situation where you don't want James Harden on the floor. There is no offensive situation where you don't want LeBron James on the floor. Well, guess what? There's no defensive situation where you don't want me on the floor. The Warriors currently have the #1 rated defense in the league, and once they're all healthy, they're gonna have the most unstoppable offensive lineups. The one thing I will say though is that if there's anything that can beat the Warriors, it is themselves. Turnovers and missed free throws are hurting the Dubs, and in both departments, they're in the bottom half of the league. Anyway, did you all know there are rumors floating around that James Wiseman might get traded? Yeah, it's pretty crazy, so that's exactly why I made this video right here, where I go over the real reasons why the Warriors will not trade the 2020 number 2 overall pick. It's a pretty intense video, guys, so just go ahead and click it, watch it, and enjoy it, and y'all know where I'm going to be, right? On the other side.